Sean Diddy's mother, Janice Combs, has issued a statement following the arrest of her son. In her statement, she compares his arrest to a public lynching. She says, "It is heartbreaking to see my son judged, not for the truth, but for a narrative created out of lies." She says, "I'm here to bear witness to what seems to be like a public lynching of my son before he has the opportunity to prove he's innocent." She said it is painful for her to bear, but to put in words, she said it's like every human being, my son deserves to have his day in court so he can finally share his side and prove he's innocent. She says in her statement through her attorney that her son may not have been entirely truthful about certain things, such as denying he has ever gotten violent with an ex-girlfriend when the hotel's surveillance video showed otherwise. She says sometimes the truth and a lie become so closely intertwined that it becomes terrifying to omit one part of the story, especially when that truth is outside the norm or it is too complicated to be believed. She says, "This is why I believe my son's civil legal team opted to settle the ex-girlfriend's lawsuit instead of contesting it until the end." And she said this also resulted in a ricochet effect that made the federal government use this decision against her son by interpreting it as an admission of guilt. She said prosecutors accused her son of running a criminal enterprise through his businesses with firearms, threats of violence, coercion, and verbal, emotional, physical abuse to fulfill his desires. She said, which we all know, that he has been denied bond twice due to being a potential flight risk and to prevent him from intimidating witnesses. And she once again said that her son is innocent. And she went on to say, many individuals are wrongfully convicted and later exonerated and had their freedom taken away from them, not because they were guilty of the crimes they were accused of, but because they didn't fit the image of what this society considers to be a good person. And she said, history has showed us how individuals can be wrongfully convicted due to their past actions or mistakes. And with that being said, I definitely have to agree with her on that people can be convicted because of their past history or past mistakes. And we know that to be true. I'm not saying that in Diddy's case because I wasn't there. I don't know all the logistics like that, and nobody does. We're just speaking on what we get from media. Like me, right now I'm reading a story which is shared by Media Takeout. But another thing I wanted to bring to this is Media Takeout is doing this report, right? But in the report, as you notice, they put up images, right? And they put up an image of P. Diddy and Jay-Z. Let's think about it. A picture speaks 1,000 words. So, without mentioning Jay-Z's name in the article, why did you put a picture of P. Diddy and Jay-Z? Because we want to paint an image, keep a narrative going. We know now, as of just a few days back ago, they've been trying to implement Jay-Z in the Diddy situation. So we have to be careful, people, at the end of the day, when we're not the ones with the facts and all the documents of what's really, really going on. We have to be careful with imagery because imagery paints a everlasting picture in the mindset, which makes us say, why is a picture of Jay-Z and Diddy there? Oh, and then somebody makes a statement and says, oh, because Jay-Z too. And then we already have this picture painted in our head, and we tend to take that to catapult us to create more narratives. So we have to be careful the way imagery is painted, because, like I say, a picture speaks 1,000 words, and people use it to catapult other people into these same situations as if they're doing with Jay-Z. Also, people, you got to understand, that's his mother, and we know people are going to ride with their people. And she has every right to, because that's still her son at the end of the day. And we know, too, with all the accusations against Diddy, it's money grab involved in it, too. It's not just, oh, all these people coming out. We got hundreds of people coming out against Diddy. No, some of it is money grab. You always have to ask yourself, what part did you play in this whole situation? Because you played a part. What were you doing? We can't just take it on, oh yeah, he said he did this to him. Okay, but how many times did you go back to the same place where you were a victim? You were a returning victim? I thought victims don't want to have nothing to do with the traumatic incident that happened to them. So how are all these victims continually going back into the same situation where they were victimized? So we have to ask ourselves certain things, people. We have to use our heads, be smart. And with that, I'm going to say this is the news in you. North, east, west, south, unite from every alley and Cali, intersection and back street. Subscribe to the channel and hit the thumbs up on your way out the door.
Star Child, I never
see the sunshine like this.
I never